Hi, I'm Maureen Leary, and I'm an educator at the Smithsonian National Postal Museum. Stamp topics are important. They depict the people, places, things, and events that are significant in American history and culture. Personally, some of my favorite stamps are related to the ocean. I have a love of the ocean and of sea life, but as an educator, I also believe it is critically important for young people to understand the importance of protecting the ocean. Ocean stamps help us do that.
The ocean is super cool, right? That's kind of where it starts. And I think that's why so many kids, when you ask them, marine biologist is one of those answers that comes up over and over. And that's because the oceans are really cool. There's so many weird and cool animals that live there. The oceans are so important for how Earth functions and how people experience life on Earth, whether you live close to an ocean or not. You are impacted by ocean. My name is Allison Kaywood, and I am the Director of Public Engagement at the Smithsonian Environmental Research Center. The ocean and the land are completely tied together, and the ocean is the bigger piece of that. So it's the one that drives a lot of weather patterns. It's really important as far as transportation. It's important for food. And it's where most of the animals on the world live and most of the biodiversity on Earth is. Without the ocean, climate change would be happening much faster than it already is. So a big part of that is, so not only is the ocean big, but water is a really cool substance, as far as chemical, right? Water has a really high heat capacity. So it can absorb a lot of heat without things really changing a huge amount, especially compared to land. So the ocean's about 70% of the Earth, and land's about 30% of the Earth. If those were switched, nobody could live on Earth because land gets really hot really fast and then gets really cold really fast. There's only so much that the ocean can absorb before it starts to have negative impacts. The ocean is getting warmer, and that's a result of the fact that we burn fossil fuels and we take all these fossil fuels out of the ground. The fact that the ocean is getting warmer is changing how the ocean works, right? It is changing all sorts of things. When the ocean gets warmer, there are things that happen you get more intense hurricanes because that difference in air temperature and water temperature changes. We're also putting things into the ocean. The ocean can absorb a lot, right? For a long time, there was this idea that they called it dilution is the solution, that the ocean is so big that you can't put so much stuff into it that it will start to cause problems. But at some point it does, and especially in coastal areas, right? People who live near water, and it's about half people on Earth live within about 50 miles of a coastline. That's the part of the ocean that people care about, right? That's the ocean that has the most impact on most people's day-to-day lives. So pollution and chemicals and plastics and things that go into those oceans are having an impact, and they're having impacts locally on the things that live there and the ability of people to use that water. So it's already happening. The longer it goes on and the more carbon dioxide that's in the atmosphere, the worse that's going to get. So the sooner we can slow down and stop as many of those emissions as possible, the better that's going to be. I think a lot of students kind of come and think that what they want to do is be a marine biologist. And there are some who do, but there's so many of the students, and this isn't just younger students, this is all the way up through college students that I talk to, right? There's so many ways that you can do things that are important for the ocean that have nothing to do with being a scientist. There are jobs policy analysts and policy advocates who are helping to make laws and regulations that impact the oceans. And those people, some of them have science backgrounds, some of them do not. Some of them have backgrounds in political science or government or law or other things, and they're doing this taking these actions that are really impactful for ocean health. There are folks that do things like community organizing and community activism that work with communities to help them be better stewards of natural resources and help put in place things to help them deal with kind of the impacts of climate change on their community. There are lots of ways that people are involved in caring for the ocean. Science is one tiny, tiny part of that. There are lots and lots of other ways and pieces that folks are involved in that.